we're gonna cast some MaxPax versus ByuN. Here in our semi-finals, I'm gonna start off on the top right side of Alcyone with the blue Protoss player. This is MaxPax.
Oh, I have the old school overlay accidentally. Oh no.
Oh,
Who are we following, Wardy?
I always follow Inu.
Okay, I'm following you. Following in you.
Yeah.
All right, do I need to do the bottom left part or no?
Well, ByuN's in the bottom left. We can just skip that
ByuN
part.
is in the bottom left. It's MaxPax versus ByuN. Fun fact about these players is they have played each other frequently in the past already.
Yeah, they have. They play each other a lot.
Yeah. Do you happen to know what the overall score is between the two, Wardy?
Between ByuN and MaxPax?
Yeah. If you were to guess. You not the overall score, you're allowed to give me percentages as well, you know?
Percentages?
Yeah.
I would tend to think it's very, very close, like nigh on like 50-50.
You think it's nigh on 50-50?
No, nigh on 50-50, like right on 50-50. Like it could be
nigh on?
Yeah, like nigh on, like right there. Like right there
Okay,
at 50-50,
gotcha.
but it could be either side. Like it wouldn't pick a favorite.
Oh my god. Wardy. It is 50.33%.
Yeah, that sounds about right. These guys play a lot. And they play very back and forth. And sometimes one of them just looks better. And sometimes they play some close games, but it's always a great series because you never really know what you're going to get out of the two of them, right?
Yeah. They're real gamers.
Real gamers, unlike you and me, we're just fake gamers.
No, also real gamers, but not as,
Yeah.
as powerful as they are.
I did some real gaming this weekend,
You went to a Pokemon tournament?
No, I went to Epic Land. Did some StarCraft 2 gaming.
Lame. Okay.
Lame.
Did it go well?
Yeah, I won some maps. Better than expected.
Nice.
Still got it,
Love to hear it. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, of course. Epic Land is the best out there. You should come
Really?
next time. We need some competition.
Okay.
Geralt just swept us all.
Yeah, I did hear that. Gerald came over and took the money of the Brits.
Took the British guy's money, yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Did he get paid in pounds as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Jeez, that sucks. Okay, should we talk about the game a little bit more?
Yeah, you know, go on. I'm waiting for you to talk about the game. You're the smart one.
Okay. 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion. There is no Reaper wall. This is something that I've been seeing quite a lot frequently. It's where they get a battery in the main base against this.
Yep.
And a battery on the low ground against this. I feel like if you do that, you've already lost. You know what I mean?
Too much investment. May as well just let them kill a probe almost.
Yeah. I think I'd rather lose 3 probes than build a battery. Even though the value is not the same, it feels like it's a mental loss. This is a nice start though for MaxPax, I'm not gonna lie. Getting that Reaper kill, it's pretty sweet, baby. Let's go.
Yep.
Phoenix gets scouted as well as ByuN. I'm assuming he's gonna get a Cyclone now. Still building the medevac too. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to commit to aggression, man. He loses a Reaper, he loses the Hellion, he doesn't care. He's going to try and get anything done with whatever units he has. He wants to be across the map. Obviously, against Phoenix, that seems super scary, but yeah, ByuN's never really wanted to back away from aggression, and that's a nice Widow Mine shot to weaken one of those Phoenix as well, so a little bit more targetable if you get into a fight where it comes to targeting down the Phoenix.
True.
Kind of depends how aggressive he gets with that medevac. Like, there's definitely like a boundary you can overstep very easily when Phoenix are on the field, so gotta kind of just go the right amount. I like that he's kind of just fully unloaded walking across the map as well, so it just doesn't get caught midway.
You know what I think in these types of cases is that ByuN, he does this quite frequently, is where he'll just kind of sit back in the middle with his medevac and stuff, and then he keeps rallying again and again and again. And this is really frustrating as the toss, because you're not sure if you're allowed to expand. If you go behind him with your Phoenixes, which kind of feels like the correct play, then he might all of a sudden just push. So you're not sure what to do. He can get unlucky. Like if you fly him with 4 Phoenixes and he has nothing at home, you kill like 6 SCVs, you don't really care so much about getting your own third all of a sudden anymore, right? Like it's like, okay, I killed 6 workers, I can delay my third even further. But this type of situation is so uncomfortable because you still see a lot of units. You didn't get a scout. You don't know if there's... You assume there's going to be extra barracks at this point. You might believe that there is a third CC, but you can't be 100% sure. Like, if ByuN were to push across the map right now, I'm not sure where I would even position my units. Like, would I want to defend my third? I think you have to.
Probably have to, but you don't really have much fighting force, right? Like, you're really relying on those Phoenix to really kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting. Quite literally lift up some of the Cyclones, take those out, hope the Marines can't fire through, try and protect your Immortal. It'd be kind of difficult as ByuN is going to just rally back towards the Watchtower here. There's an Observer that's kind of sitting watching this as well. The Phoenix a little bit bruised up from some Wooden Mine shots earlier. Actually going to walk into the reinforcements, and that is one dead Phoenix. So already one off the board, and the Phoenix now coming back down the bottom here from MaxPax will at least try and just maybe get something in the main base, maybe an SCV or two. But yeah, they've not really been the best Phoenix of all time so far.
SCV or 5 maybe, Wardy. Look at that. So much energy on these bad boys. He's gonna get the Viking as well. Shoot land, is too slow with it. 4 workers do go down. And that was necessary because this third was so freaking quick. Now more workers are gonna get taken out. 2 half-life mules as well. Or 1 at least gets destroyed too. So I think this kind of makes up for the late third base that MaxPax had going for himself. He has very late tech as well though. Look at this. 6 minutes in, Forge is now finishing. Where's the Twilight Council? It ain't here yet, Wardy.
No, he is just going to be on this Colossus, Phoenix, and really reliant on those combination of units. Obviously, ByuN is on the way to all of his upgrades right now as well. And when he hits that, there's a big power up for the bio. You're hoping then that as MaxPax, your tech of Phoenix Colossus is just enough to hold on against any kind of bio surge forward. There is the Twilight Council, the +1 start, so we're making steps to kind of step up. Just not quite there yet, as the Phoenix trying to find a little bit more, taking some more damage, but for the most part able to stay safe and alive and just trying to keep ByuN on the back foot as much as possible.
Yeah, ByuN's getting a supply block right now. He's going to need to use a supply drop. I don't think he realizes that his depot stopped working. This is actually a full, like, it would have been like a full 20-second supply block if he hadn't used the supply drop in the natural. So that's expensive and it's frustrating, and he will supply block for a little bit. He's down about 20 supply. I'm expecting a fourth base soon here for MaxPax, who's adding in a lot of gateways as well. Turret has finished. MaxPax's supply is a little bit inflated right now. A lot of it is Phoenixes, which are going to lose their value pretty soon into the future. We're going to need a second Forge in order to match the opponent's upgrade. A big issue could be 2-2 finishing, there being Ghost, there being Viking, and MaxPax being on something like 1-1. Like, that could just be game losing, right? So you always need to keep all of those things in mind. What's the chance you think MaxPax moves across the map and goes for some attack?
It's quite a MaxPax move, right? You hit like the Colossus count, and you're like, okay, let's see what my power units can do and just see if it can catch you before your tech kicks in, which would not be terrible, right? If you have 3 Colossus whacking away and there's only 1 siege tank that realistically can deal much against those Colossus at all, then there's definitely potential, and he's right out here in the center. So at the very least, he's going to move into the middle of the map and kind of contest the Watchtower. And then that, if nothing else, keeps ByuN maybe a bit more on the back foot, kind of sitting back at home a bit more defensively, and gives MaxPax some more time to establish that 4th base very freely, get the extra infrastructure up, and finish up some important upgrades. +1, charge, get those on the field.
Ooh, armory finishes up, and we see +2 armor start as the first upgrade. Not a huge fan of that. Second Forge is coming down. I am a huge fan of that. I'm honestly expecting a 5th base at some point in the near future here as well for MaxPax. And he's now in control, right? He has the Prism on the right. He has the Zealots on the left. The only thing we're really lacking is the Prism speed. The moment he gets that, he's going to be buzzing and flying around like a beast. For now, just that 5th base, complete control, 4 gases. This is as MaxPax as it gets.
Yeah, this is definitely getting to the point where he just feels so comfortable as well. He's going to escort the Prism into the main base with the Phoenix, so he's going to have potential to get a lot of damage done here as well. Missile turrets are not yet ready. There's a couple of Vikings about to pop, but that doesn't matter if the Phoenix is there to protect, but they're actually going to see the Phoenix back away. Extra Warpin will go off, though, so additional Zealots go through, and that main will be in some trouble. Also poking at the front. That's where the Phoenix have gone to try and accompany that army to see if we can create some opportunity. Dealing with the drop in the main base pretty well is ByuN, but yeah, the Colossus up in the front are going to be an issue for sure.
Yeah, we had attacks at multiple locations. ByuN formed like a semi-wall with the CC and 2 depots. Yeah, honestly, it looks good for MaxPax because he's completely in control. The moment 2-2 finishes up, however, we get a Viking count that is bigger than 6. There might be some issues here for the toss.
He's really getting a lot done on the fact that there's just not really the full tech kind of in play currently for ByuN, right? If there was, like you say, more Vikings, his army just looks so much worse. Obviously, EMPs are good, but having some actual firepower onto the Phoenix a bit more consistently, or even the Colossus, would be great. As you hit good EMPs there now, the Phoenix out of energy. ByuN's going to come down 2 ramps and have a little bit of a surround. The Zealots charge up top, but they're not going to do too great, and ByuN is going to be able to continue chasing. He's low HP, though. Probably can't afford to stim again, and he's lost some SCVs during this. He's going to stop chasing, pull back, and go the other way.
I wonder how good of a fight that was. Like, face value, it might have been fine, but in the context of this game where MaxPax is just mining from 2 more bases already, I'm not so sure how great that is. Like, the quality of the army that MaxPax has here is so poor. And he just wants to make any trade before his opponent maxes, right? He does not have a great disruptor count yet at that moment. He just wants to get rid of some zealots and replace that with disruptors. That is the entire plan. He's gonna get his blink up. He has his dark shrine. He's adding in more and more gateways as well as going up to 12 already. And he instantly starts his next set of upgrades too. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how that fight went. There is 2-2 right now on this Bioforce. The Viking count is at about, what, 5, 6? Is at 4. Phoenix is still going to be kind of okay. Disruptor will help out against the tank. This is the first fight that I think went relatively well here for ByuN, where MaxPax really needs to start being careful here, because he's one bad fight away from not having map control anymore. And the moment he loses map control, if you have disruptors, it's so hard to defend. Disruptors do not split well.
Yep. Not units that do well kind of moving around the map. They're great at zoning and everything, but yeah, you have to have some here and some there. The power of disruptors is being able to kind of fire consistently too, right? And if you have to start splitting those, that's less likely to happen. So you're going to try and dive into this planetary using the disruptors to do just that zoning that I'm talking about. Of course, the Vikings going to try and do some zoning on the Colossus as well as we go back and forth here. Planetary will be holding its own. Disruptors clipping, not finding too much in all honesty. Upgrades continue through on both sides. MaxPax not going to go any further than these little attacks. Of course, doing all the right things at home with a 6th base even coming online, right? So again, all the bases online. Making sure we're set for the later stages and just making the most of this map control while he's got an army that ByuN can't currently attack into easily.
Yeah, but MaxPax needs to be careful, because one bad fight, he loses the map control. These are good disruptor shots though. 5-6 ghosts falling there on the top side. ByuN is still going to push this army back despite these disruptor shots. That is actually somewhat surprising to me. He's taking an okay engagement given how bad the start was. He lost like 6 ghosts to 1 Purification Nova.
Yeah, that was brutal. As the planetary will not hold up against those DTs, though. SCV repair not good enough there. Bio going to try and chase this down, but most of the DTs do get out of there alive, so MaxPax showing up. The only thing I will say there, though, is obviously you just spent a bunch of money on DTs while losing the majority of the rest of your army. So you look at the unit composition now, it's 4 Disruptors, Zealots, and DTs. You know, there's no real beef to this army at all, so you're just kind of trying to play an overwhelming force now. I mean, even more important than ever not to let kind of ByuN collect together and kind of go for one big attack, because MaxPax can end up in a lot of trouble very easily.
Yeah, MaxPax is going up to 7 bases already, though. And I'm expecting more and more gateways to be added onto as well. I think going up to a number like 16 or even 18 at this point is valuable. Adding in a 3rd robotics facility is something that we could see as well. There are DTs, which makes it hard for ByuN to start moving out. We have 185 supply for ByuN, and this is of 76 workers against the 88 workers of MaxPax, who also has just a worse quality army, to be honest. Once again, if we get a good fight here for ByuN, maybe he can make a push. First initial splits are good. There is no flank coming in, though. The DTs running forward are going to get scared away. Only 2 SCVs end up dying there. A little bit of supply dying on the side of ByuN is already quite nice here for MaxPax. ByuN might actually just lose this base.
Yeah, that's in a lot of trouble as the Stalker's going to get underneath the Disrupt as well zone, and that should give you enough time to finish if you want to. You're going to back off. SCV repair is good, so the base will live. The orbital itself, at least, but the position is still lost. DT Zell going to try and make a play on the right side, but starting to run away from that. As ByuN continues to try and scrap this out. Very scrappy game this has turned into as we continue to go back and forth. MaxPax just warps in 12 more Zealots, so again, his supply looking good, but it is still just full of very, very cheap units.
Yeah, at this point, though, it feels like if he's not mining from a 4th base, he's really in trouble. It's been taking so long for him to get a good fight. Maybe now he's going to get on top of the Disruptors, but no. Of course, the Zealot reinforcements arrive just in time as, yeah, ByuN slowly but surely is kind of bleeding out. He's going to lose a couple of SCVs here to a Purification Nova. You have 1 more big Purification Nova. GG. Oh, PG out of ByuN. Oi, oi, oi. ByuN, ByuN, ByuN. Yeah. What does he? We should ask him after. I'm curious. Why does it? What does he veto over Ghost River? What do you think he vetoes over Ghost? Like Amphion? No, that's a Terran veto, right?
Mm,
A lot of Terrans veto that Wardy.
yeah, no, I'm just thinking. I mean, honestly, it's crazy because like I feel as though Ghost River
Every
just
map
ends
is
up in,
good for them.
okay. Well, yeah. Just Ghost River just was never, to me, the map that was meant to be played in these best of threes, and it's like, it's in almost all the TvP best of threes, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. It's also in a lot of PvPs. It's a nice map for PvP. Unless you have like a 1-gate expand loser in the matchup, then you're... No, you're still going to see it sometimes.
Yeah. ByuN builds a pretty forward barracks to start us off with, so... It's going to set that up just a little out of position, maybe make MaxPax sweat a little bit about what's happening early. This pro will come across. Should head upwards, so we'll not see that barracks straight away, and then you've obviously got to panic a little bit and figure out how proxied this barracks actually is.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Does he build a Zealot or not? MaxPax is a Zealot builder, isn't
I
he?
mean, to me, he's a Zealot builder, yeah.
Yeah.
Just build
He
a
sometimes
Zealot.
even does it unprompted. Those people I'm a little bit suspicious of.
I mean, I feel like he's the kind of guy who's just walked his Zealot across the map and had lots of success a lot of times in his career, so... It's a lot more tempting to build the Zealot in those scenarios, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what usually happens when I build the Zealot, Marty?
It does.
It meets the Reaper midway in the map, and it dies. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand how it doesn't always happen to everyone. But he's actually going without a Zealot.
Yeah.
What a beast.
He will go without.
That's a pylon that's far forward, my friend.
On the natural.
Yeah. I love it. Hey, there's nothing bad about it, just I like it.
Just like it.
Yeah.
What do you like
because
about
you
it?
know... Sorry?
What do you like about it? Why?
Okay, because you know when you're a Protoss player, it feels wrong to build a pylon that isn't connected to the Nexus, but it's fine because you're gonna add a second gateway there, right?
Yep.
But it still feels wrong. This is actually quite bad against Proxy Marauder though. Like, against me this would have been a mistake. Because right now there would be 2 Marauders and an SCV walking into his natural.
Yeah, and then you got a very dead pylon.
You're very dead pylon. That's an issue. Ooh, look at that. Reaper spots the Stalker. Fast Cyclone behind this. You know what's a really relaxing thought when you're a TOS? And it doesn't really matter what type of proxy Rex it is, but the fact that it's proxied makes it really difficult for there to be a Marine-centric follow-up, right?
Yeah.
Because it spends like 30 seconds flying home. That's like 2 waves of Marines. So anything that's going to hit is going to be like with 4 Marines less, minimum. You know, sometimes even more. So most of the time, it is going to be a more type of, could you call it like a specialized type of setup? Like, you know, like a mine drop, or we've seen Cyclone drops before. Clem really loves the side, like double Cyclone drops as a follow-up. So I think what Tosses should do is almost always go Stargate. I think it is just correct. Like against Proxy. I don't think Blink is the correct play.
Mm-hmm. Well, Stargate right here for you, so MaxPax seems to agree. It makes sense, like you said, you just can't have enough Marines up to really get super aggressive, which is one of your weaknesses, so get the Stargate up, control the map. You know, if it's going to be tech heavy, which it should be because the factory has been built at home, then the Phoenix can do a lot of, denial on that with the lifts and the Cyclones, etc. There's Phoenix popping, that Cyclone the way, Medevac pops out now as well, so ByuN is already kind of just cruising about on the map a little bit, seeing if he can catch anything, see if he can, catch the first unit coming across here, and he might just get the lock onto the Phoenix and move downwards. So the Phoenix moves up and is able to stay away.
This is on West as well. That was a quick response, man.
Yeah. Speedy.
Yeah, freaking fast. I'm always so impressed when they do it so quickly. Like the difference between the very top tosses, Terrans and Zergs, and like the slightly lower, with this type of move is already quite big, you know? That I'm not saying I would have lost my Phoenix, but I don't think I would have had 2 Phoenixes alive at this moment. I would have lost my Phoenix.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying not to rub it in, because I agree.
Yeah. It's painful enough as is. I appreciate that.
At least you're self-aware. Unit's just going to back up, obviously. There's no third here. It's not really much to jump on as the Terran. You're not going to push into that natural, so fall back. The fact he's not put a third down is already a win for you. MaxPax going to be the safe player that he is and just drop that Immortal into production, so getting that up and running. There'll be a Liberator here from ByuN to support very shortly as well. We'll see what sort of approach he takes with that Lib, what sort of direction he might try and fly it in, as now the Cyclones do grab the Phoenix. One goes down, the Viking gonna get the other one very low. That's already a very good start here from ByuN. He will start to lose some SCVs here, but that's not exactly great.
2 Phoenixes. Oh, and look at ByuN. He's just gonna go across the map because there's really no risk to this move now. Like, what's MaxPax gonna do? Like, pee on his CC? That's not even possible. These are not corruptors, they're Phoenixes. Yep. ByuN moves in forward. He is very aggressive. He's gonna fight into a super battery. I don't think he wants to go again, would he? I would not want to go into the battery, but trying to deny the 3rd base for one more try, I wouldn't mind. His own 3rd CC is almost done. I would lower the Viking onto the ground here, though.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be pressing forward again. The Viking still up in the skies, now going to land, as we do have the Immortal just about staying alive. Should die now. The Cyclone lock-on lift comes in a little bit too late. The Marines get a step onto those Stalkers as well, so they're going to keep on dropping. Now the tank is here as well. We're going to turn back onto this 3rd base. Tank will zone from the natural, and that 3rd base should end up cancelled. You have nothing else.
Yeah. Now, this would have sucked if he still had all of his Phoenixes alive, but he already lost 2 Phoenixes, which means his counterattack is much weaker. So it sucks double. It's double suck here, my friend. Since that's gonna pick off some Marines because he's afraid of dying, which is triple suck, this is starting to get to painful levels of sucking.
Painful levels of sucking as ByuN gets his upgrades on the way up. Obviously, 3rd CC of his own is morphing into an orbital already, so he gets that on the go. And MaxPax stepping up with these Stalkers. Need to be careful again. Cyclone locking on already. And Stalkers continue to take damage. Fortunately, Colossus shows up, and that's something that we need to teach the tanks to really deal with, which at least slows ByuN's advancement down. Otherwise, MaxPax would probably be kind of just dead right now.
You know what I think is underrated in this scenario? Is just purely building Vikings at this point. Just skip medevacs. Like, realistically, you don't want to go there. I think with Viking tank, there's no way you can lose. Like, I think it's legitimately impossible. I've seen Clem do it quite a bit against MaxPax on, I think, Amphion. He did it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it feels like the other Terrans haven't quite caught on. Like, if you have such a good early game, I don't see a reason not to just build pure Vikings. Oh, look at it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
See, he's a bit delayed because, you know, there's some delay when you listen to my casting, but it's there in the end.
You have to get the translator up as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
No, I know what you mean. Like, we've seen it a few times where Clem just has like a lot of Vikings super early, and it's like it looks so good because they're just so good against the Phoenix, and it really negates any power that they're kind of going to have left at that point in the game. And then obviously a Colossus are kind of dead in the water after that as well. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is the Phoenix are doing the best job they can in terms of picking up some reinforcements, and going to get a Viking included. So those Vikings are maybe not against both of them.
That's really bad. That's actually really sloppy out of ByuN. Like, just needlessly sloppy.
Yeah. Unnecessary damage taken. Colossus join back up together in the center. Zealot Stalker Sentry pulling back onto the right side and drop the Nexus onto that 3rd base as well. We do have ourselves Prism, +1 attack, and the charge coming up on the side of MaxPax. So all those upgrades continuing through.
I see a good question in the chat. Max still making Phoenix? ? Yeah. The reason why in this case you want to build Phoenix is because you just want all of your production structures to be producing as much as possible. Usually you'd be going to probably a faster, higher gateway count, but you can't really do that because you would most likely die. So you just want to get as many units as possible. You're just pumping stuff, and then you hope to stay alive, and you hope your opponent forgets to kill you. That's pretty much the entire game plan here.
Phoenix gonna get through onto that Cyclone. The Viking and the Medevac gonna go down the main base as well. That means Phoenix get a lot done, although now the Marines putting some damage in as well. Extra Vikings putting damage out, so let's start off pretty nicely for MaxPax there. ByuN is gonna turn on its head, as MaxPax is still only just now establishing that 3rd base. +1 in charge along with it, but very late 3rd. ByuN on a great economy with 70 SCVs. 4th base of his is about to start up on the 3rd location, so you can fly that out in about a minute and a half. And yeah, I mean, would you like to see ByuN kind of push across the map anytime soon, or are you kind of happy with him just sitting back and chilling for a couple minutes?
I really don't care what he does, to be honest. So I think it's fine for him to wait for Ghost. I think it's fine for him to wait for a maxed out push. I think it's fine for him, like, he probably could move across the map, but his medevac count is only at 2. His Viking count also isn't that high. He's getting a 2nd starport, so I'm assuming we're gonna see like a small ghost move out maybe, and then a follow-up with a lot of Vikings. So like a fake push basically. You want to maybe deny Max a fort base, although Max isn't trying to get it. Max is actually playing, look at this, he's playing 6 gas into Storm.
Yeah, he's just gonna basically camp out on his 3 bases for a little bit here. As the Prism attempts to get some work done, looking to deny one of the missile turrets coming up. And that'll be probably one of the few times the Zealots get in on this direction, because the next time there'll be missile turrets around, and Prism gonna have to look for other angles, so it's gonna be tough, as ByuN obviously is ahead enough that he can obviously just establish himself in a position where he can kind of just, you know, protect your bases overly. So he's going to start pushing out now, looking again to a spot. We'll see if these ghosts and these these High Templars and these storms can find anything, because MaxPax needs a little bit of something to be able to win these fights.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need a little bit of something. I'd be shocked if ByuN lets him get this 4th. Like, this really should not be allowed. I'm also shocked to not see pure starport production. His second starport was AFK for a little bit. Once again, his main starport is a bit AFK. I think that's going to be the deciding factor here in these fights. It's just the Viking count, the medevac count. The only way you're losing is if you lose some sustain on your push, or if all of your Vikings get destroyed while there's still Colossus around. I think with 6 Vikings, well, he only has 4 actually. Your tanks will need to deal some damage, that's for sure.
Well, decent first Storm, and the Zealots are going to get forward there. The tanks do not last very long at all. The Colossus is going to be full HP coming out of this, and the Viking count is just not it to really contest those Colossus. So MaxPax might be able to live a little longer here for the moment, as you do have the next High Templar warping in right side as well. Planetary Fortress about to pop on that left side, so we are going to see ByuN's own 4th established. And yeah, for the moment, the MaxPax Storms were good enough to buy a little bit of time. And this Bio Army is not healing up to full quickly. The medevac count not as beautiful as it might want to be.
Yeah, honestly, pretty tragic start to that battle. ByuN is going to try once more. He still has a much superior army, but the storms are hitting. I think this pullback, like, this only makes sense in the context of not having enough healing, right? Because otherwise you'd probably want to keep going. There was no real active Templar nearby anymore. I think MaxPax is... He's kind of sneaking away here into a mid game, and I don't think ByuN should have allowed this.
Yeah, no, I think this is one of those moments where ByuN does this sometimes in PvT, where he just feels like he's in a great spot and he just struggles to really close the game a little bit. Like this drop on the right side just to hit somewhere different at the same time, making it a bit tough for MaxPax, who still doesn't have a ton of units, so getting reinforcements in different places can be difficult. Even as you warp in a couple of Zealots here, some of those will fall before this gets cleaned up. All this time he's pushing to the front. Vikings actually should get a Colossus this time. They will get one, so some of that splash damage now being negated, as ByuN, once again, probes along with this and still reinforcing across the map.
163 supply to 186. Really one more decent fight here for MaxPax, removed from actually holding on and going into a proper late game. This Storm is okay. Viking count is kind of pathetic. It's only, oh, actually it's at 8. I didn't see the 4 that were reinforcing. And with 2 Colossus, that should be enough. If there's no Storms connecting now, then I don't really see MaxPax hold. We'll have to wait and see how it's gonna go, as the Vikings will clear all of these air units. Storm is kind of gonna hit. There's still 4 Immortals on the ground. I believe ByuN could just continue pushing at this point. He could land those Vikings. He could hit literally everything with EMP if he wants to. We have a lot of empty medevac though, so he still needs to be somewhat careful.
Yeah, the problem is just attacking into this choke point almost. Everything of the terrain keeps getting clumped up, difficult to move through and get all your units in reach. And there's a lot of tech units still here. Mortals and Archons are fairly tanky, so it's taking a little while, especially as the Ghosts don't have a lot of EMP energy remaining. Super Battery's gone now, though, and it should be an opportunity for ByuN to keep pressing if he really wants this.
Yeah. We have enough medevacs right now that at some point energy will come back. Archons are most likely gonna fall as the first units. Ooh, a couple of fat feedbacks here on the medevacs, actually. That was really cute out of MaxPax. Realizing, hey, you don't actually have a very healthy army. If I clear out all your medevacs, then it's going to be difficult to heal those. Problem just being that there's now a 5th base on the way for ByuN, right? ByuN is working off 8 racks double port. I am expecting ByuN to maybe start ship weapons as well. I'm kind of expecting ByuN to at some point add a fusion core here too. But this type of eco situation is just not feasible here for Max.
Nope, it really is not, as the Archon finishes up, and I mean, it's just the continuation of this. Eventually ByuN should be able to press through and win out, as we do see just another continued fight. I mean, now MaxPax is facing the same issue of not all of his units can really get in range at the same time. The Vikings go land in and cancel a 5th base, so ByuN does make use of those at the same time. Nice to grab that. I guess the Immortal as well.
Yeah, supplies remain similar, as there's about a 40 supply gap between the two. At some point it was only 20, and it really felt like that if MaxPax can hold on for like 15, 20 more seconds, we have a game on our hands, but yeah, ByuN is just rallying across the map. His medeffects are looking a little bit healthier again. We see some purple in there.
He has some ghost
there's
energy.
not that many storms.
Yeah, ghost energy too, right? Like a significant number of EMPs instead of just 1 or 2. So you can actually get rid of the Archons quickly. The Storms aren't a factor. You could probably drop 1 or 2 more onto these Immortals and Stalkers if you wanted to. As we kite backwards, but the supply just keeps on favoring ByuN here. 170 to the 110. And while he will get pushed away one more time, it is probably just a matter of a few more reinforcements showing up. The game will not end just yet, but we are absolutely continuing to step in that direction. That's an EMP that hits everything. And with it, MaxPax gets out of this game too.
Yeah. Impressive almost comeback game. I feel like Max is really vulnerable in a lot of moments there.
Alright, let's find out. Bottom right's MaxPax, top left's ByuN. Game 3, side Delta. It's been a series of Clam versus Trap coming up after this as well.
Oh, that's going to be epic.
Yeah. These Monday Cups, man. People like playing in them. It's fun.
Yeah, Monday's a good day for cups.
Yeah. Well, so every cup.
What do you know what the worst day is for cups?
Saturday.
As a tournament organizer, you know. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think Thursday is the worst.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
I don't know. That's just my feeling. I would
Just
not
a
want to
feeling.
play cups.
On a Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably Friday, right?
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel like Friday's like. I feel like you almost expect there to be stuff to play on weekends. But then on Friday, you're like, it's still the day that you can go out and do something because it's the end of the week. So I feel like you get less players. I don't think there's actually any correlation to any of this.
What about the weekends?
Yeah, but I mean, the StarCraft nerds know they got to play tournaments on the weekends, so it's part of life. You know, they accepted that coming in, so.
True. No such thing as a holiday.
No, there really, no, there's no.
No weekend.
No days off.
No days off. But on the days off, you still play some games, obviously. You have to. It's the law.
Yeah.
That's what it says. I'm still shocked about this Oceanborn revelation.
It is nice not to see Oceanborn, though. See that map a lot.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Okay, let's think about some build orders here. What the hell is this? Okay, what are we seeing here? Explain to me what this means for ByuN, Wardy. Let's see if you've been doing your homework.
What is it for ByuN?
Yeah, what is this?
Reactor, factory, no repair.
Yeah, but I mean, at 3 minutes, what does he have and what doesn't he have?
Cyclone, 4 Marines, and a medevac?
At 3 minutes!
Oh, no, not 3 minutes.
3 minutes is unbelievable.
But he's not 3 minutes. No, I
Tell me, if I was in charge of talent, you'd be fired right now. Getting someone else in the stream here, Wardy. You've just lost it.
Don't tell me, you're the smart one. My brain turned off the moment you joined the call.
Yeah.
He's gonna have 2 Marines and a Cyclone, no? But no repair.
Yeah, but okay, the point is so this is, we have 3 openers, Wardy, okay?
Yeah. No would have dropped.
No. This is as like a general concept. Okay, we have double gas openers. We have marine into factory openers, and we have marine into reactor openers. And they also have reaper, but this is a different story for another time. This was marine into factory. We have 2 less marines. It's very easy to scout, often with a CC on the high ground, because it's hard to keep the CC alive down there. We have faster cyclone. We have a potentially faster mine drop. We have a faster starport as well. Usually worse eco because CC on the high ground, right? But we can hit hard. A lot of the high-level Terrans nowadays, when they like to go for cyclone pushes, they like doing it with marine reactor. Gives them these 2 extra marines, and they still hit like a freaking truck.
Okay. So, what does he have at 3 minutes?
At 3 minutes, he has 3 marines.
Oh.
That is it. 3 Marines. He could have a Hellion if he starts the Hellion instantly,
Yeah.
but not many people, they play... Like, going factory before reactor and then building a Hellion still makes you a massive loser, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's like, what is the point of that? You rushed out a factory to get a unit that does nothing. It's like, congratulations, you have brain damage. So usually we see a Cyclone, but it pops just a little bit later. Did he just lose a Cyclone across the map?
he lost the Cyclone across the map.
Did he? And the Banshee got scouted too? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's toast, honestly.
Not great.
No.
But he didn't see the cloak, but he saw a tech lab stop, right? So pretty good assumption.
Yeah.
I just really thought it was a more complex question than 3 Marines.
Yeah, 3 Marines.
It's just such a simple answer.
It's everything is simple. You know the answer, Wardy.
I was just thinking too far ahead. I just thought he was gonna have Marines in a
too
Cyclone
far
and a
ahead.
medevac.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 4 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
no one
It's a
thinks...
classic mistake people make. You ask them
Yeah.
about 3 and they're like, 4 minutes, still have this. Yeah. Wrong again. What a blunder. It's okay, Wardy. You know, we'll get it next time. We might have another TvP later on.
I'm just, my game knowledge isn't up to scratch because you've not quizzed me in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it is a fun sideshow, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do like it. Okay, tank. I tried to just speed up the replay. It's not a replay.
You just try to speed it up when MaxPax is attacking. Like, you think ByuN's that dead?
Yeah, but no, I mean, ByuN could hold this.
Yeah, I mean, he actually blinked into the bunker, which let the tanks get some shots off, which I felt was pretty good for ByuN altogether. Obviously, the Banshee can add some DPS as well as you try and push back the Prism in the main. That's a frustration. As MaxPax tries to pull ByuN around a little bit. But he's not gotten rid of any tanks, right? And the longer that the tank count kind of stays stable, the more simple this should become as a defense, as we are going to be able to blink to the high ground here. Going to cost you a couple of Stalkers, but he gets a tank, and I do think that's the most important thing you can be picking up right now.
Yeah, it only loses 1 Stalker as well, which is nice.
He lost.
Let's not forget that these Banshees haven't been capable of doing anything on the other side. We have no Stalkers behind the main mineral line that are dealing more damage. MaxPax is in charge, my dear friend. He is in control of this game. And he's going to lose, I think that was 1 or 2 more Stalkers. But 6 worker kills. The only thing that he lacks right now is infrastructure. But look back at his main base. What are we seeing there, Wardy? Lots of infrastructure. So that's banging. Do you think he can get it up in time?
I think so. I don't think it's easy for ByuN to move across the map. ByuN's going to want his upgrades right. So yeah, I think easily. At least charge and a lot of gates gives you the Zealot count to really just withstand this until you get more tech units on the field, I think. So I think he's looking good. I think he's done a lot with these Stalkers, and obviously he has plenty of them left. Just keep on being a little bit annoying with, just blinking back here as he tries and gets a couple more Marine kills, so a little bit more value depot as well. And he just finds so
He plays
much
like
of the
such a
Stalkers.
prick.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's so frustrating. And you know what the worst part is? You know that the Prism is still alive. So you're also like kind of freaking yourself out about that Prism. It's like, it's gonna come back at some point. You just know that. There's nothing you can do about it. It's there. Imagine having to build a Viking as one of your first 2 starboard units. You just want to end yourself.
Yeah, not ideal. Not really where you want things to be going. Unless you have Stim Combat +1, all finishing up here shortly on the side of ByuN. So there are the upgrades, but I mean, he can't even move out the map onto the map through the front, so he's just going to be sending a single medevac across, taking the very long route as well, right down the left-hand side through the bottom. And he's going to stim down this ramp now, and he gets a few shots off on some Stalkers, and he should catch a couple here at least. Tempting, gets 2, now finds 3. Okay, not bad. 4.
Ooh,
okay, gets
4.
a lot of these Stalkers. Opens the door.
Look at the main base though. That main base is gonna have 6 Stalkers in there, and this single medevac. ByuN is the type of guy that just boosts it in, right? Yep. There we go. He's gonna most likely lose it.
Yep, Stalkers blink onto it. Medevac goes down instantly, and there's already units in position on the 3rd base as well. So ByuN cannot continue the frontal push. Took a little bit of damage to the Prism and Zealots at home as well, and it does feel as though that ByuN is running a little bit out of steam right now in this game 3.
Yeah. ByuN still has some tanks, which should allow him to stabilize at least somewhat. You know, this type of game, whenever I see Clem play it, he'll still have like 150 supply or so. I don't understand how that works. Because their 3rd is so late. Like, MaxPax is mining from his 4th before the 3rd. And then whenever I watch Clem, he's still high supply.
Yeah.
Have you noticed this too?
Yeah, it's just like the Clem factor. He just doesn't matter what really happens. It feels like he has more units than anybody else.
But I don't understand, because it's not like ByuN has been macroing poorly, you know? I paid specific attention to this. He had good macro, but they have less stuff. Make that make sense, Wardy.
I can't make that make sense. I'm not a magician. That's the prism at least, so you can stop worrying about that for a couple of moments. Small sigh of relief for ByuN in this game as he tries to get the Ghost Academy online and looks to tech further. I mean, MaxPax just isn't stopping. Fifth base starts to build as ByuN battles to get onto his third base properly still. I mean, it is a challenge from here, so ByuN's going to have to try and make something happen, but it's definitely not going to come easily.
Fifth base already, what's it, 25% done. Dark Shrine second Robo. You know what I really like about... Oh, never mind. I was going to say that he always does the Stalker arrest, and as I didn't even finish my sentence, and he lost 4 Stalkers for free. That was not quite brilliant.
Well, we are going to see the force fields coming down here. That's a bunch of units of ByuN getting caught, so MaxPax is able to clean those out, and ByuN's just going to say that that is enough. GG's, and MaxPax is going to take the 2-1 victory. Move into